I absolutely love crab cakes. I've had them every which way, baked, deep fried, with a relish on top, with mustard, you name it, I've had it, and every single one is so delicious. I've got a super simple recipe that's bursting with flavor. I know you're gonna love this recipe. Crab cakes have a deep history in Maryland. That's why so many times on the East Coast you see crab cakes on the menu. We've served them up at just about every restaurant I've ever worked at. They've all been a little bit different, but all of them are so dang tasty. Now, this does require just a little bit of prep, and I do mean a little bit. Sound good? Let's cook. We're going to begin by finely mincing up some parsley. I've got some flat Italian leaf parsley here that I sort of roll up and cup over. And the reason I do this is there's so much flavor in the stems. There's no reason to discard them. They have great color, great flavor. Don't worry about it. We're going to finely chop it up and set it to the side. Next, I've got some buttered crackers that I'm going to add right to my food processor. I'm going to add the lid here, and I'm going to pulse it on high speed. If you don't have a food processor, you could do it the old school way. Put it in a plastic bag and beat it with a rolling pin or a mallet. Either you can do, and it's up to you. Let me stop really quick and say, obviously Ritz is probably the brand you're thinking of when it comes to buttered crackers. There are also plenty of other generic brand names that are going to work just fine. They're all salty. They all got that butteriness that just adds that little bit of extra love to the crab cakes. Now, classically, you may see Ritz. You may also see breadcrumbs. I've seen panko. I've also seen saltine crackers that are processed in a food processor like that until it represents that breadcrumb-like consistency. So you can use any of those, but I prefer the buttered crackers. Here's what we do now. Go ahead and pull out your jumbo lump crab out from the refrigerator. What we're going to do is sort of just pick through it. You always want to make sure that there are no shells in here or any unwanted pieces. Who knows what could have fallen in there when they're processing everything. So just make sure there's nothing in there that doesn't need to go into our recipe. So once you pick through it, what we're going to do next is just transfer it over to a really large bowl so we can fit a lot of other ingredients in it and mix it together. Now, when it comes to jumbo lump crab cake, you're most likely to see 3 different variations in the grocery store, and it all is varying degrees of quality, and that represents flavor, the size of the lump crab. Now, for me personally, after you add all of the other ingredients in there, I'm not sure you're going to be able to tell the difference between the medium grade to the top grade or the low grade to the medium grade. So if you can find this for a really good deal, fantastic. Now, if you want to take this to an entire another level, my recommendation to you is buy some fresh crab legs, steam it, take out the meat, let it cool, chop it up, and you've got some really fresh crab meat. It may not be possible for you to do that, and most typically you're probably just going to find the canned like we've used here. So if you can do it, fantastic. But not, no worries. Here's what we do now. Let's make these crab cakes. So we're going to add in a large egg, some Old Bay seasoning. If you don't have that, any crab boil seasoning will do, or even Zatarans. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce for some nice salty deliciousness. I've got some mayonnaise. You know I love Duke's mayonnaise, but use whatever you'd like here. Totally up to you. Next, I've got some Dijon mustard. If you don't have Dijon, yellow mustard will do, but Dijon definitely adds more flavor. Go ahead and take about a tablespoon or so, or about half of the chopped parsley that we prepared, followed up with about 2/3 cup of the buttered crackers that we processed. Now, using your hands or gloves on hands or even a spatula or wooden spoon, what we want to do is completely mix all of these ingredients together. Now, I've seen some recipes where you whisk the mayonnaise and the egg and the breadcrumbs and the spices separately. I don't think it really matters, because once you really combine everything, it's all going to be really mixed in there. And this is the exact consistency you're looking for. And this is as basic as this recipe gets, and it is still so dang flavorful and so amazing just as it is right now. But there are some other ingredients you can add to this if you want to further enhance the flavors. I've definitely done this, have worked at restaurants that have done this. So just to throw this out there, you can add things like onions, scallions, shallots, garlic. I've seen bell peppers, poblano peppers, jalapeno peppers. I've seen corn. I mean, celery even. The possibilities are endless. So get creative if you want to add more ingredients to your crab cake mixture. But I promise you, as it is right now, it's so delicious. You don't need it, but if you want it, you can do it. Now, So let's go ahead and form these crab cakes. I'm going to take about a 4-ounce piece or so and roll it into a ball. Now, traditionally, you may see the crab cake served up like this in Maryland. That's totally fine. For me, I like to sort of smash it down a little bit. It cooks a little bit quicker, a little bit more evenly, get a nice brown on both sides. Now what we're going to do is add it to the remaining 1/3 cup of buttered crackers that we didn't use when mixing up the crab cake. Put it on both sides, add some nice saltiness and helps in the browning. We're now going to set it to the side on a cookie sheet tray lined with parchment paper or a plate, whatever you got, no problem. Head over to your cooktop. I've got a very large frying pan. I'm going to add in some oil. You could use grapeseed, canola, safflower, or even olive oil here. And now what we want to do is add the crab cakes in one at a time. Make sure they're not too close to one another. We want it to brown on all sides. This is going to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes over medium heat, which is about 325 degrees or so. And after that 3 to 4 minute period, go ahead and give it a little flip. Get the brown on the other side, make it look really pretty. And if for some reason you don't feel like these are cooked enough, just go ahead and put them in the oven at 350 degrees in this pan for another 5 to 7 minutes. But I promise you they are cooked through and they're good to go with the 3 to 4 minutes per side. Now what we're going to do is take them out and add them to a rack that has a cookie sheet tray underneath. If not, you could simply lay it on some paper towels to drain off the extra oil. So the crab cakes are finished. They're that perfect golden brown color. It smells amazing in here. Cannot wait to try these. But if for some reason you don't want to pan fry them up, you can absolutely bake them in the oven. Just keep them on that sheet tray lined with parchment paper, and they bake at 375 degrees for about 13 to 17 or 18 minutes. Just keep an eye on them till they get brown and cooked through. But if you wanted to add a little sauce to these, I'm going to show you a really quick, easy thing. And trust me, there are a million sauces you could add to this. A relish, a remoulade, you name it, even a dollop of mustard. But here's a really simple sauce that you can do at home. Here we go. I've got about a cup of bechamel sauce left over. You've seen me make this sauce quite a few times in a few of my different videos. I'll post a link for you to check it out. But what I'm going to do is add a little bit of mustard. I've got some yellow mustard. You could use Dijon here too, totally up to you. And some whole grain mustard. It's sort of a creamy mustard sauce that's very, very easy to make. And it complements the crab cakes so well. This is just a great option if you're looking for a sauce to add to the top of your crab cakes. And it's just like I tell you in every video, it's all about understanding these fundamental basic cooking techniques and putting them into practice. How to make a very classic crab cake, how to enhance it with other ingredients, how to serve it up with a sauce, how to get them perfectly golden brown. You put this in everyday practice of all of your cooking in the kitchen, I promise you, your homemade food from scratch will taste better. It always does. This recipe is fantastic and so easy. Now, of course, let's plate these up in slow-mo. I'm just going to add these to a small plate, sort of like a little appetizer plate. I'm going to garnish with a little bit of the leftover parsley that I prepared. Then just going to serve up that mustard sauce right on the side. And my, oh my, check out this beauty. Crab cakes and football, that's what Maryland does. Name that movie. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Definitely like and share this video and check out this video right here. Made it just for you. You will love it. We'll see you on there.